as the slowest part of me wants to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me wants to go. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I rock myself like a newborn baby child. Yes, I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I love myself like a newborn baby child.
Well, good morning, everyone. How many of you were lying in bed this morning, and as you were lying in bed, thought, gosh, I sure hope the floor is there? Probably not. You probably just got up and put your feet on the floor, right? Was it there?
Yeah.
It was there, wasn't it, right? And did you just kind of just push a little bit and then just kind of stood up, right? Yeah. Well, you know, interestingly enough, what we're going to talk about today is this same kind of idea. And the same kind of idea is that faith is much like our floor. And it's there. And we know it's there, the earth. When we put our feet down, either the floor is there or something's underneath it, right? So it's kind of like having that awareness really more on an unconscious level that something's going to be there for you. Think about that for a moment. To me, that's really the essence of what faith is. Faith is just knowing that there's something underneath you that's there supporting you. And having an awareness of that, and having an awareness that it already is there in the way that you need it, and the way that will really help uplift you and bring you into a greater experience of your possibilities. And so when we're talking about this today, whether you realize it, Nate, or not, you're actually using your faith. We're using your faith basically just to get out of bed in the morning, put your feet on the floor, and push. That's a faculty of faith at work. Because if you really were afraid that the floor wasn't there, there's a good chance you wouldn't even get out of bed, right? It's a good chance that you'll stay there and you kind of worry and think, boy, man, I don't know if it's there or not. Eventually, you might decide to go look. Oh, there is a floor there. Well, you know, that's a form of faith. That's a form of faith, isn't it? It's kind of what we call intellectual faith. It's faith that needs proof out here that something is real. But I'm going to suggest to you that part of what we learn in this spiritual movement called unity is that there's a level of faith where you absolutely don't even bother to look because you know it's there. In a real sense, faith is this faculty of being able to know something even before you can actually see that it's true. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. That's one translation. I'm going to suggest to you it's even stronger than the translation is even stronger than that. Faith is the assurance of something hoped for and the conviction or the certainty of something unseen. It's a real certainty. It's a knowing rather than just a hoping or wishing or a possible, oh, wouldn't it be nice if? When you really practice with our amazing divine faculty of faith, we're putting our awareness into a knowing and understanding that there's something higher and something greater at work that is always trying to bless us in some form, in some way. In the early days of Unity, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founders of Unity, called together a group of the employees to let them know that they basically didn't have the funds at the time to pay their rent. They didn't have funds at the time to pay the employees. And so they asked the employees to come together, and they asked them to pray. And one of the employees said, boy, yeah, let's pray that the money holds out. And Myrtle, in her soft, gentle way, said, no, let's pray that our faith holds out. Because she understood the principles at work, that it really isn't about the money per se. It's about having the faith to know that what you need in the future is going to be there for you as you need it. Holding a vision of that and knowing the certainty that it's done, that it's there for you, that what you desire in your heart and hold in your awareness with energy and emotion, with a sense of completion, that it's there. And this is the real effective aspect and use of our faculty of faith. We sometimes say, well, if I only had faith enough. Well, the reality is you will never have more faith than you have right now. Because you have an unlimited amount or supply of faith. It's not a matter of quantity. It really is a matter of focus. The reality is that faith is much like a flashlight. It's much like a flashlight and a magnet at the same time. Can you put that image in your head? It's like a flashlight, and it's a magnet also, because it's attracting and drawing to you whatever you're putting that light on, whatever you're focusing your awareness on, whatever you're focusing your attention and your intention on is what you are actually drawing to you even more of. And there's a real great power in training yourself, training the power and the faculty of faith to be focusing it on those things that are going to be a greater experience and a greater blessing for you and for those around you in your life. But the amazing thing is that you have an opportunity, you have a choice, you have the opportunity to focus that faculty of faith in whatever direction that you want. Oftentimes, our way of focusing our faith is what is called doubt or fear or worry. You're actually using the same faculty. Faith is actually worry and fear and doubt and anxiety is a misuse or a misdirection of the energy and the faculty of faith. It's actually putting more energy in and toward what you don't want rather than putting energy on what you do want. And it's a simple matter of pivoting your awareness to consider what it is that you actually truly want and desire, and putting your energy toward knowing that it has a reality. Maybe not in the physical sense yet, but in the spiritual sense. That there's a power and a work that is already there, and what it is that you desire is already available to you. It's already available on a spiritual plane. And part of the work of faith is actually to focus your attention on that, just like a flashlight, or even a laser for that matter, which is even better, more intense, putting more energy in it. Everything is moving in coherence, moving in the same direction together. All of the particles and beams are moving in the same way. And then that's putting your energy behind it, your emotion and your feeling sense that it's already done. It's already there. This is the real power of faith. At the same time, however, it's important to recognize that it's a matter of holding that focus, holding that energy, holding that vibration, you might say, of having what it is that you want or desire or experience in your life without having a feeling of attachment to it. And that's tricky, because we tend to get really attached to what we don't want, don't we? And the challenge with attachment is this. Attachment actually is a fear of not having what we want. We put our hooks in it. We get really attached to it. And we just put everything and focus on it, and we worry, and but what we're really doing is we're putting energy into the fear of not having it. And it's amazingly powerful, isn't it? It works really well, doesn't it? This amazing faculty of faith really will give you exactly what you don't want if you let it want it. And so our work is not to try to push away what we don't want, because in reality, by even trying to push away what we don't want, we're actually giving more energy to what we don't want. But to shift our awareness and to shift our focus or shift our energy into really holding to a knowing, an assurance that what we desire is already, it already exists. You might say it already exists if you want to kind of get into quantum physics and thinking about it this way. There's a whole other dimension of reality where what you desire already exists. And faith is the very thing that brings that already existing whatever in the, as Charles Fillmore used to call it, the ethers, the invisible realm, bring it into a visible experience and reality. This is the practice and the power of manifestation. So Myrtle actually understood this. She said, no, we're not going to pray that our money hold out, because the money, is actually already a physical manifestation. Let's pray that our faith holds out and that we put it in the right way. She understood that there's something greater at work in this circumstance. She understood that they needed to focus on having whatever is needed, and she understood that you needed to have enough faith to not necessarily grasp what it is that you're wanting and desire, but just simply allowing it to be an assurance that what is needed, what is desired, is already available. It's already available to you. This works, I think, in many ways. It works with our on a physical level. It works with our finances. It works with our relationships. It works in all aspects of our lives. Mark Twain once said, most people are bothered by those passages of Scripture that they don't understand, but the passages that bother me the most are the ones that I do understand. And here's one that I think oftentimes people have challenge with, but it's not so much that they don't understand it, it's because they actually understand it, but they are not sure how to put it into work or practice. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the assurance that what we hope for will come about, and the certainty that what we cannot see exists. This is an New International Translation. Henry Emerson Fosdick said, I would rather live in a world where my life is surrounded by mystery than live in a world so small that my mind could comprehend it. And the reality is, faith is, this definition of faith has been one that really has helped me significantly over the years. And it really was coined first by Samuel Coleridge in a poem. And he said that in a book about poetry, actually, he says that poetry is the willing suspension of disbelief for the moment, which constitutes poetic faith. So let me say that again, the willing suspension of disbelief. And I've heard this definition that faith really is a willing suspension of our disbelief. So think about this for a moment. One of the things that we have a tendency to do is have an idea or a desire of something, for something in our life and in our experiences, but in the back of our mind, on a subconscious level perhaps, there's something that runs through our thinking and our mind chatter that basically says, well, no, it'll probably be really hard. Or there's another one that says something that, well, no, that's not possible. It may be possible for somebody, but not for me. Or there may be some other little chatter that goes on that says, well, I don't know whether that's really possible, and so I'm not even going to bother. These kind of things that go through our mind are actually ways that we are shifting and focusing our faith in a real sense on not having what it is that we desire. And so part of our learning to grow in faith is to be able to exercise it in a way. It's like a muscle. Faith is much like a muscle. And, I have a few muscles here and there that are mostly covered by other things, but it's okay. I mean, I do have some muscles. But, in order to have more muscle, you do have to exercise a muscle, right? And so in order to exercise a muscle, you have to put it to the test. You have to test it. You have to put some resistance against it. You have to put it into practice. And I believe that's very true of our faith. We have to be willing to practice knowing things even before we can see the proof of them out here in the world. But our tendency is, and what we've been conditioned to do and what we've been trained to do, is look at what's going on out here in the world and take that as a proof of what's going to be next, or what's always going to be. And I'm going to suggest to you that actually is putting our faith in something that already has been manifest. And putting our faith in something that's already been manifest actually only creates more of what's already been manifest. Make sense? And so if there's a healing that you want to experience, the important thing is to not necessarily put all your attention on trying to fix whatever it is that's going on for you, but to put more attention into having an experience of healing, or having an experience of already being healthy, already being whole, already feeling the energy and the life and the vitality of spirit that's already available to you, that's unlimited, it's already in you and already available to work through you, to focus your attention and energy in that way. And by doing so, you'll be guided, inspired to take different steps, and some of those may be actually going out to the gym. It's possible, that's a possibility. I'm just throwing it out as a possibility. It may give you some inspiration about, ways that you can live life that actually help more of that life energy to flow and to express. That makes sense? Same is true with finances or abundance. There is an abundant, amazing supply available to us. And our work is to not necessarily try to fill up a hole of lack that we are seeing somewhere in our life, but to actually focus on an energy and awareness that there's an abundance of possibilities and an abundance of resources, abundance of, yes, money and finances that can and will pour in and through us as we focus our faith on it already being so. And acting in a way that shows the universe that we are full of a knowing of already having. Jesus said, ask, believing you have received. This is the power of faith at work. It's the willing suspension of disbelieving. It's being willing to no longer believe in the energy of lack, or the energy or the belief systems about illness or dis-ease. Voltaire said, faith consists in believing when it is beyond the power of reason to believe. Let me say that again, because there's a real important awareness about this. You see, faith is actually a higher faculty than reason. Now, those of you who are really attuned to your intellectual mind will have some struggles with this, I'll be honest with you. But I'm going to suggest to you that intellect is one of the main killers of faith. Because the intellect has to see physical, tangible kinds of awareness and proof. Right? And I'm going to suggest to you that's one of the biggest killer of dreams that you can ever have. Because the reality is we are actually creating based upon what it is that we are holding a vision for and holding a vision of. And if we have to wait until something shows up for us to believe it, we're missing the point, and we're missing the process, and we're missing the mark. Wayne Dyer basically said it very simply. You will see it when you believe it. And so it's not a practice of trying to get something to show up out here so you can believe it. It's actually learning how to really know the truth of it even before any evidence appears out in the world. It's pretty simple, isn't it? It takes some work. It takes some practice, doesn't it? It's kind of opposite of what we've been trained and taught to do. We've been taught, seeing is believing. No, it's the other way around. And so the more you practice this principle, this practice of holding to a greater vision, a greater awareness, a greater possibility, and then truly getting a sense and a feeling that it already exists, that it's already real, that it's true. One of my good friends up in the church in Woodinville when I was there used to say there are many possible futures. The one that is to be is up to me. So think about it that way. There are many possible futures. I'm big into science fiction. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but I love science fiction.
Brother.
I love this concept, this awareness, and it's more than just a concept because it really is based in many physics theories that there are actually other dimensions that we are all that are possible for us. And so think about it like, an expanded reality that exists, and the one that we are going to draw into our awareness, into our experience, is the one that we focus our faith, our attention, our vision, our imagination in, and hold to be the reality, to hold to be the truth. Now, sometimes we have a tendency to try to jump back and forth between different ones, and that's where we really get into a lot of the doubt, right? So in reality, you have the possibility of a future that is holding and is manifesting your life in the way that you would really truly love and desire to have it be. And there's another reality where you don't have any of that. You have the things that you don't want. You have the things that you are not wanting to experience. And that's this other path. And our faith is the ability to shift from one to the other. To shift our focus on what we truly want to see and experience in life. Hold to the truth of that. And when we find ourselves veering off into another dimension that doesn't include what we desire and want, to simply shift that awareness back. And to stay back into an awareness and a focus of trusting and knowing that there's a power at work in us to manifest and to draw to us an even greater experience of what we desire in life. Charles Fillmore called this faith as the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. Substance is this idea, this understanding that the early metaphysicians had, that everything in the universe is created out of the same thing. Physicists call it energy. Everything ultimately is energy. And the forms that we see out here in the world are a condensation of that energy into form, and it became condensed, thank you, condensated, right? That's a good word. I just created a whole new word. Wow. It's condensed into form by the energy that we hold about it and the intelligence that we're holding with it, and what we are seeing and visioning and holding in our thoughts and feelings and experiences. So the question really is, how do you want energy in your life to be shaped and formed? How do you want it to show up for you? What is the really desires of your heart? And can you and are you willing to simply hold to the truth that it already is? Emily Cady used to say, whatever you desire is actually knocking at the door of your consciousness right now. And it wouldn't have shown up as a desire in you if it didn't already exist on some level in the spiritual realm. And it's trying to show up in your life because that's something that Spirit has in mind, in store for you to experience a greater good. So I'm paraphrasing here, but this is kind of the essence of what she taught. So think about whatever it is that you're wanting to experience more of, whether it be life or health or more love in your life, a deeper relationship. Part of the work is to let go of this belief system that says you don't have it. When you can let go of that belief system, when you can willingly suspend the belief that you don't have it, and really practice the consciousness and the energy that already has it, then it will begin to manifest for you in ways that you never really probably even expected. And One of the things I do encourage people, though, is, and one of the things we talked about in our Prosperity Plus class, it's important, actually, however, to give the mind something to focus on. And so it's important to be specific about what it is that you want and desire. Describe it in color, in detail, in technicolor. Write it out. Hold it in a way and put it in a place where you can see and hold to that awareness and that vision. But at the same time, don't put your hooks in it. Don't get attached to the form. But don't get attached to the form, because you never know what greater possibility the universe has in store for you. So I always encourage people, when you're working with the power of faith and trying to bring into your experience more of what you want, be very specific with it. But don't get attached to the specifics. Get attached to the benefit and the result and the qualities and the characteristics. Well, getting attached is not the right way to say it. Just be open to the universe providing what you really truly want and desire in a way that you maybe had not been able to be specific about. We always say when we pray, always pray for this or something even better. And when we do, we're actually putting the faculty of faith to work even more. Because part of that faith is also an energy and awareness of assurance, which is trust. We're trusting that not only are we going to experience the greater good in our life, but we're going to experience it in a way that's even more than what we possibly could have imagined. But don't stop imagining it, because that's part of the process as well. So that's our homework for this week. I want you to really take some time this week considering what it is that you would like to experience more of in your life, and begin practicing what it feels like for that to already be in your awareness, already to be in your experience. Practice how you feel knowing when it's already manifest, when you're already seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it in your life. And it's just a little experiment, kind of like we're doing in our Prosperity Plus class. Just experiment with this idea, this practice of really living into the greater possibilities of blessings and good, and seeing it already done, and then releasing it, letting it go, and knowing that that or something even better is already knocking at the door of your consciousness and your experience. And then just follow whatever guidance you receive to move in that direction. Sound like fun?
Yeah.
All right, let's move into our meditation time. So take a nice deep breath and breathe into the heart space. And as you breathe into the heart space, begin to feel a sense of relaxation and peace flowing gently over you. Flowing from the very top of your head, gently down over your face and all the way down into your shoulders, down in your arms and hands, flowing down into your torso. Take another deep breath. Feel that peace moving all the way down into your hips and your legs and your feet, and all the way even down into the floor. And it's in this place of peace that we're most open and receptive to knowing and feeling and experiencing the presence of the divine, the presence of God in us and right here in this moment. And in this moment, take this time to know that you right now have all that you need. There's air to breathe. There's life that flows. There's peace. And there's amazing possibilities of wonder and joy. And you have the possibility of holding that in your attention and awareness and experiencing the peace of knowing and having a sense of fulfillment, a sense of all is well. And so just take this moment to let some desire that you have in your heart to come forth. It can be a large thing or a little thing. And just bring it into your awareness. And let yourself feel that desire. And as you feel that desire, just sense and know that what it is you desire already exists. It already exists in spirit. It already exists in the realm of possibilities. It already exists in some level or some dimension. And right now, you have an opportunity to move your energy, your vibration, your awareness, your feeling nature into a vibration, a consciousness where that is already in your real world experience. That you're vibrating at the level that is already pulling it into the possibilities in your life and into the reality. Feel that it's already so. Give thanks. Let an energy of gratitude come in your heart and feel a sense of fulfillment and well-being. And just say to yourself, I don't know how it is already in my experience. I just know it already is. And I am happy and I am fulfilled. And then gently in your heart, let it go. Just let it go. And know that it's already done. Take a nice deep breath. Breathing in the heart space, feel that energy of gratitude and fulfillment, trusting and knowing that it's already so. And take one more nice deep breath. Let your awareness return to this room, this time and place, just releasing to the greater possibilities and trusting. There's a great creative process at work already. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes.
We at Unity in the Heart of Austin are committed to inspiring people to awaken to their unique divine nature through spiritual teachings, through heart-to-heart connections, through prayer, and through sacred service. And we provide tools, spiritual tools, that allow you to live your best possible life. I'm Reverend Tony Roebuck, minister at Unity in the Heart of Austin, and I truly hope that you are inspired by and that you are transformed by, you enjoy this week's spiritual message. And if you would like to leave a donation, a tithe, to help the work of this ministry in supporting you and others like you, then we are truly grateful for your generosity and for helping to make the world a better place. Because we know that life is meant to be good.